I'm myself trained as a dancer. My mom brought me to a dance class, but for me it was more a game. It never was really something serious until I was almost 18. It became like a secret story for me. I will never share that I go to a ballet class or I go to a contemporary class. It was a secret story because it was not normal the place where I come from. So yeah, it's not that I was proud of making what I do. It was actually a secret story. So it's something that was very much about myself and discovering, and it was never like a serious relationship with the dance. Later it became more and more, and that I intended to become a dancer or even a choreographer, even if I didn't know really what it was. Then I decided to try out to do it professionally. So I studied in Frankfurt. So I was accepted in a school in Frankfurt. And then I wanted to do really contemporary dance, but I was confronted with a very strong ballet education. And this is what I met for first time, a lot of Forsyth dancers, and being introduced to more William Forsyth technique. And this was kind of my education in Frankfurt. There was one class that I had with a professor coming from Rotterdam, and that was a Cunningham technique. And that was my first contact with Cunningham technique. Even if before I had elements of Cunningham, that was for me the first time I was like, okay, this is a Cunningham technique. And I remember I was very fascinated with the coordination and the multiple directions in the space, the rhythmicality, and that it's not as normal in every dance class. There is a 1, 2, 3, 4 to 8. The phrases could be in 5 and 7, and this irregularity of the tempos, that caught me very much. And then because of visa reasons, I ended up studying again for a master program, choreography and performance. So first I wanted to really become a dancer myself. So I was training to become a dancer, but experience that I had, I don't know. It just shifted my mind that actually that my way of expression could be. I felt more comfortable doing choreography or creating dance, or so because that dance became my practice. But actually, I'm making dances. So dance is a tool. Dance is something that helped me to create dances and make a visual concept. Making dance available for a broader audience is one of my motivations to become a choreographer also, so that dance is not only for dancers, dance is not only for artists, but dance can become something more available for other type of audiences. You can go to an arrest, and we'll put it down and you do the jump, no? Something that is visible for everybody. People in between the mirrors, like the glass wall, and then you see people in the park. I think that the first thing that comes is the idea of creating a certain work, and sometimes this idea I am not familiar with. So, and most of the time these topics are related to topics that many people know about it or that are present everywhere. So, and especially these topics that I work with not necessarily had to be dance, but they had the potential to become dance. So maybe there is dance, but it's still not visible or not visible at the first sight. So how to make it visible, I feel that is my task as a choreographer. I'm showing what is behind. For me, it's a nice metaphor to work that way, so to show what is behind. My idea is not to exclude people, but to invite them to see more dance. That's the final goal. So with this project, the homage to Merce Cunningham, it is, even if it's an event, the idea is similar, is to make that maybe sometimes distance, because people who even like those classes of Merce Cunningham or were dancers who grew up knowing who this figure was, didn't have the chance to participate in any of those homages. So kind of try to create this project to be that people could participate and share their experience, their love for dance. The project was born basically as a homage for Merce Cunningham 100-year anniversary back in Frankfurt and the Rhine-Main area in Germany. So for me is a reference and an inspiration in my work. So Cunningham has the particularity of the dances that have multiple fronts and address different directions in the body, and the strength in the legs, and the coordination and the torso, and all that is an inspiration that not necessarily is a replica, but is something that helped to develop my work further. First of all, this project is not a piece. So this project is not a choreography. Maybe it's a choreographic event, but for me it's really not. I thought actually that we were gonna do this once, and it was a once event. So actually It was something that it developed, and it surprises, and it was a very positive surprise. That there was a very positive repercussion, and we ended up in Bulgaria. So that it was not planned to be a piece. So it was born as an event. Before coming to Bulgaria, the dancers were sending video material with their own tribute to Merce Cunningham. Because this is a score, this is like an overall structure to make people create their own homage to Merce Cunningham. So what they send, they're actually solos of themselves making a tribute to Merce Cunningham. Some people understand or research or got inspired and they send great videos. And I don't mean by sending a Merce Cunningham class. I don't mean that. They really integrate what they understood or what they take or what they admire, or really their own response to Merce Cunningham. And they say in those videos. And I believe we select those people that really had a motivation to do that, and they were curious, and they thought. And so it didn't depend the age or their background. So we're really based on that. So it's not really a Cunningham class. It's really what did you learn, what did you admire, or why you want to participate, or these are questions that we saw reflected on their videos. We had a base of the pre-existing score that took place in 2019 in Frankfurt and later in Offenbach. So we had a structure it became, we had readapted, rethought it for this location and incorporating all the solos and material we developed together with the dancers. All in 3 days. I mean, this is together with the people is 3 days, but we had also a period before preparing all that, which is watching the videos, drawing the score, adapting the score to the location, working with the musician in advance, but also not really listening. It was more about discussing and talking about the project and the concept. Working with the people in the studio, and not only about the overall score, but also developing further their proposals. Their proposals need to fit to the overall structure. Of course, this is a decision that I take, and it also can be said this is choreography. So when is choreography, when is the score? But these are all questions that emerge. But I think it more as that my role is more the idea, the concept, the score, and that they're all choreographers, they're all dancers, so they're presenting their own material. and then the process here in the building, and then yes, outside is rethinking, and because sometimes you need to really be in the space to take a decision, but sometimes to work together with 20 people at the time, it's very hard to take decisions on the spot. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you really need to think about them before you communicate them. And sometimes you may need to make changes because things do not work. So that's the process. That is maybe what people do not see. So the process is also trying things out and things that do not work, and then you need to change. And of course, this becomes more limited. You need to really think about things before and trust that they might work or make them work, because the time is so little. So there's less, when the time is more restricted, you have less time for tryout and failure. That for me is fundamental for work. So you need to learn from things that do not work. So we are in the park and we have a most beautiful picture you could dream on. So the frame is great. Well, and also it's the first time collaborating with Elvi. So we're actually working in two separate things. So I'm working with the dancers and he's working on the score, and so we don't know until the day of the performance how the music and the dance will fit. So this is also an interesting process. So we had talks and we discussed the concept. He tried elements of music that I like very much, or I think that they work very, very well, but I don't have a complete idea of what he's gonna play. So, and it makes it also exciting.